No, I'm just sitting here wondering why the ditto cam is at a 45-degree angle. When I sit here and face it, I mean, I look fabulous. I look absolutely great. I mean, I don't look bad like this either. I mean, I'm just wondering why I've never seen a TV camera aimed at 45% angle at anybody except me. Well, I'm thinking, why isn't it right in front of me? I don't know. I mean, probably because I've never really cared that much, and so for the convenience of the installers is where it's been. Is that right? It makes it seem like it's less focused, a TV show, if I think, well, it could be anyway. Hi, folks. How are you? Great to have you here. Another week of broadcast excellence off and running, the Wisconsin primary tomorrow. And we are all over the place on polling data on Wisconsin. Wisconsin is notoriously tough to poll. You remember all of those Scott Walker recall elections that he ended up winning handily? And I don't think my memory is such that he wasn't leading in any of the pre-election polls except the last couple, before each election. In those, what were there, 2 recalls in the standard calendar re-election for Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin. And every one of the polls showed him losing. And yet he ended up winning all of those recalls and his own calendar gubernatorial re-election handily. Wisconsin has, in terms of the conservative movement, it has just a kick-ass conservative movement in Wisconsin, even though it has notoriously been a blue state. The Republican Party contingent in Wisconsin is profoundly conservative, which would argue for a massive Ted Cruz win. Now, the latest polling data we have out of Wisconsin has Cruz up by 5. There are a couple of polls that show Cruz up by 10. And then there's a public policy polling poll. The last one I saw has one of the two up by 1 in a margin of error poll. But we've got all kinds of new things happening. Trump has backed down a couple things. He has, for him, done a mea culpa on the Heidi Cruz photo retweet. Throughout all of this, interesting survey data as well from people who are not happy with these results. None of this has hurt Trump with his core supporters. None of this, according to pretty good research data. But that doesn't tell the whole story. I've said from the beginning, when this all started, that nobody can destroy Trump except Trump. Nobody's going to be able to separate Trump's voters from Trump except Trump. And it looks like his core supporters are hanging in with him. And I think that's largely about what his campaign represents to people, in addition to whatever personal connection Trump has with people. His campaign's much bigger than him in terms of the support that he's getting and what people have invested in it, as you well know. Meanwhile, it's kind of, it doesn't really blow my mind, but I think it's worth pointing out. I mean, the Republican race is getting covered, and it should, understandably. There's all kinds of excitement in the Republican race. There is all kinds of drama. You never know from hour to hour what's going to happen in the Republican race. And the media is collectively doing gangbusters ratings-wise, covering anything and everything to do with the GOP. So you can understand, normally that doesn't happen. The Republican primary coverage is mostly limited to horse race characteristics, and it is dominated by the drive-by media doing their best to destroy whoever the front runner is, unless the front runner is who they want us to nominate, and then they end up supporting it. But this is unprecedented. On the Democrat side is where it's kind of interesting. The lack of coverage of Hillary Clinton and her problems and travails. And you might be saying, what do you mean, Rush? They're talking about the email. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact nobody likes this woman. I'm talking about the fact that her numbers with women put her in the cemetery. Do you know that Trump does better with women than Hillary Clinton is doing with women? Damn straight right here in these stacks of stuff coming up. Not only that, Hillary Clinton has lost her last 5 primaries. And it looks like she's down 8 to Crazy Bernie in Wisconsin. She might lose again in Wisconsin. She's being investigated by who knows how many FBI agents. We are told that the director of the FBI, James Comey, is going to actually do the interview / interrogation of Mrs. Clinton vis-a-vis whatever's going on with this email business. Her approval rating has fallen to the basement. And as I say, it's even lower among women than men. And she's supposed to be cleaning up with... Hillary Clinton is supposed to be a magnet for women. Women are supposed to be automatically drawn to Hillary because of all the things. Feminism. Undeniable Truth of Life, number 24. Any number of reasons women are supposed to be flocking to her, and they aren't. A National Review poll, in fact, has found that Hillary has a negative approval rating with practically every group except black women. Black women, she's holding her own. But that's probably because her husband was the first black president. And everybody in the midst of Hillary Clinton's campaign, really, I know the fix is in as far as the Democrats are concerned. And I know the media knows the fix is in. And the media realize she's going to be the nominee. No matter what happens here, no matter how many states Crazy Bernie wins, no matter what happens, Hillary's going to be the nominee. That's what they think. They think it's fixed. They think it's rigged. They think it's done. Super delegates, what have you. Crazy Bernie just in there as a placeholder for whatever reason. And so it's understandable, I guess, that there wouldn't be a whole lot of coverage. Plus, what is there to say about her? Every interview she does looks horrible. Did you see this last interview she did on NBC? Well, not just what she said, but the way she did. It isn't working. There's a reason why there's no excitement on the Democrat side. There's a reason why there's no eager anticipation. There's a reason why there's no momentum. At least that is rooted in Hillary. You could say there's some of that stuff with Crazy Bernie, meaning the excitement it draws his crowds and so forth. But in the Democrat primary writ large, it's a funeral procession. So in that sense, I can see the media ignoring it because they think Hillary is a done deal. But there's another reason that they're ignoring it is because it's so bad. Hillary's candidacy and her campaign. I'm going to tell you, folks, if it weren't for the way the Electoral College falls out and the fact that she has a D next to her name on the ballot, that is her strength. That's her primary strength. And that strength is no better than if the nominee were Biden or Crazy Bernie. It's the D next to the name that shores up the nominee strength in the Electoral College. But it does show what the media can do when they want to either promote or protect a candidate, what they can do when they want to demean and destroy a candidate. And we are watching textbook examples of both processes unfolding right before our very eyes here on a daily basis. Then you go to the Republican side, and these stories on all the horse trading going on with the delegates. And how Cruz is outsmarting Trump. Trump doesn't know what he's doing state to state in securing delegates. All of that matters for the second ballot, which everybody is intent on producing, at least at the Republican establishment level.